there are three primary arguments that we included in our initial petition challenging the legality of the military commission, and they are outlined here. That it's a violation of separation of powers, that it is not within the president's authority to establish this kind of military commission with this charge vis-a-vis this individual, and that for him to do so violates the separation of powers set out in the U.S. Constitution. David will speak to that. We have follow-on slides on each of these that we'll come to. Secondly, we argued that this military commission violates the Uniform Code of Military Justice in a number of separate ways, both with respect to the jurisdiction of the commission, with respect to the charge, and actually with respect to the procedures that it was implementing. The procedures that it was implementing did not conform to the procedures in a court-martial, which are the regularly constituted military court. And then thirdly, we argued that Hamdan's trial in front of a military commission would violate the Third Geneva Convention, which he had a right to invoke for his protection. And this was a very hotly fought debate as to whether or not individuals even have standing to step up in front of a court and ask for judicial enforcement of treaty-based rights. But that's the outline of the three major issues, and we'll kind of walk through those with a follow-on slide for each.
And one more thing to follow up on Joe's comments about why we're filing here in Seattle. Another issue was, because Hamdan was in detention and was Yemeni, whether or not he actually had standing to file a lawsuit in the beginning, and we're going to address that in a different way, but whether or not he could bring a case on his own behalf was a preliminary issue we had to deal with. And so what happened was, Lieutenant Commander Swift was last residing in Washington State before he went into active service. And so because of that, his residency was considered to be Washington State, and so he had to file the lawsuit on behalf of Hamdan as his next friend. And that was an issue that we had to deal with originally, but then Hamdan was then later allowed to bring it on his own.
Yeah, I mean, habeas practice recognizes this next friend doctrine, which appreciates that sometimes habeas petitioners may be incommunicado, essentially, and Mr. Hamdan was decidedly incommunicado at the time that this lawsuit was filed.